Hey guys, this is Long Night Entertainment. I'm Mycosa. Figured I should try and touch base with you guys a bit. You may have noticed I've been off the radar for about a little under a week, maybe about a week. One little change here. Nothing on my green screen, no gaming hat, no game in the background, no editing. Just talking. Uh, I've been having a bit of a health problem, and for anyone who wants to ask or anything, I don't need any suggestions. Trust me, I've tried everything. I'll get to it in a minute. Uh, Basically, guys, I have been suffering from some very incredibly painful chronic migraines. You may have heard of the type called cluster migraines. I meet most of the criteria for the diagnosis, so they're pretty sure that's it. The only thing that's weird about mine are very short duration but extremely intense pain. I know what generally causes them. It's a mix of a nutritional thing plus stress and the like for that, grief in my case. All right, let me back up a step here. I've been genuinely reluctant to talk about this because I try to keep my channel about the gaming, about fun, about things that make people happier. And it's not because I'm afraid to talk about serious subjects, but I try to stay on the lighthearted end. But when something accumulates long enough that it affects what I'm able to even do, then I owe it to the people who are subscribed and are watching and everything to at least attempt to explain what's happening. So let me back up a step here. The end of August, August 27th, 28th, I'm unfortunately terrible with dates. My father passed away. It was very abrupt. We expected him to be okay. Everyone was happy with how things are doing because things kept going wrong, but then they stabilized him, and then this went wrong, and they stabilized him, and then that went wrong, and they stabilized him. And then he had a heart attack in his sleep and passed away in his sleep. Excuse me, Mona. I think... Yeah, in this case that looks better. I'm not worrying about my green screen. And yes, I know I could do stuff to smooth this out more. I could iron this or get some better lighting. It's plans for the future, but anyway, ignore that. I know that's like almost half a year ago. I'm getting there. Pardon my doodad, I fiddle with this. So, yeah, it was a unique pain. I'd lost family that I saw, during holiday get-togethers or things like that before, but never someone who was part of my daily life. Excuse me. Let me just move that there. Yeah, that's better. Yeah, never someone who'd been part of my daily life. And life wasn't done hitting me and my family. A couple weeks later, my cousin, a woman named Tracy, also passed away. There were some health complications and she'd gone to the hospital. And again, apparently she flatlined, cardiac arrest. There was no way to save her. Two of my family in 1 month time from each other, less than a month total. She had kids, two daughters. Been trying to reach out to them a bit. I could probably do a better job with that, even now, but they're young. Not sure what to say, except that I kind of feel their pain. They lost their mom, I lost my dad. I wish I could say that was the end of it. When I lived with my family, it was for a number of years, my dad, my stepmom, and my grandma, and myself. And in December, maybe a couple months later, after we'd had the funeral services and memorial service for everyone, my grandma also passed away. 3 in less than half a year. I don't mourn her loss in the same way. My cousin and my father, it was abrupt. It was unexpected. They weren't very old, not in the grand scheme of things. Whereas my grandmother, the way I've explained it to most people is that my grandmother had drunk deep of the cup of life and left the table satisfied, nourished, and ready to move on. Whereas my father and my cousin had barely begun to taste of the fruits before them. And it's hard. I know people who take a lot of time to deal with any one of those things. They'd need breaks, time off, sometimes therapy. I haven't really had that option. I was working 2 jobs at the time. I finally left one of them for health reasons. It is really funky how the color shifts on that with the lighting. It's very strange. I'm sorry. But it was hard to cope sometimes. And sometime before I lost my grandmother, sometime in, I want to say November, I guess the stress started really getting to me again. I suffer from those stress-related migraines, chronic ones, cluster ones. I've had them for most of my life since I was 4, and I know what triggers them, for the most part. But I really thought I'd kind of resolved them, but I guess not. At least not permanently. Stress was able to trigger them even with the best I'd done. I've been getting 3 to 5 of them a day. People have mistaken them for seizures, to be honest. They're very abrupt and painful. And part of the problem is that my friends generally know me as a strong individual. I seek out other people who are in pain and do what I can to help them. I often try to lift other people's weight with my own. I'm usually pretty good at dealing. I have to admit the pain's been pretty bad. It's been affecting my sleep. It's been affecting my energy levels. The reason I've been behind is I've been so very, very tired. Not too long ago was my dad's birthday. First birthday without him, And it's a funny story. I always celebrated his birthday one day late. I was certain it was the 25th every year, because all I knew was that whatever day I thought it was, I was wrong. And I kept thinking it was the 24th, and I'm always wrong, so it must have been the 25th. So I'd celebrate it one day late every year of my life except this one. And I kind of picture him looking down at me and going, "Really, Mike? Really, Mycosa? Really? Really? You finally get it right? I can't even eat the cake. I can just absorb the cake energy or something. I don't know. I don't know that the dead eat cake. I don't know. You can kind of see where I've inadvertently gained some very powerful forehead muscles from the constant spasming from my eyebrows, because the pain from the migraines, they'll go like, and you could see my face muscles tense. Someone saw me literally fall over at work because the pain was so bad, everything tensed up. It was like someone, according to my manager, it was like someone had kicked me in the head. It's affected my appetite, energy, my digestion, my sleep. I'm just so tired. This isn't a cry for help, for the record, guys. You're not gonna see me in the obituaries as a suicide or anything like that. You're not gonna see me turning to drugs or alcohol. I literally can't get drunk. I can still get alcohol poisoning though, so I only drink 2 drinks in a night. But I can't turn to drink. I don't make enough money to afford drugs. It's just in. Drugs cost money, and I wouldn't do that anyway. And I'm not going to turn to painkillers. Most of them don't work on me anyway, and the ones that do are habit forming. I'm not going to go into it, but I had to kick a kind of house-like addiction to painkillers a number of years ago due to a chronic back injury. Kind of got in the way of about 3,000 pounds of freight. Really messed up my back. Word advice: you ever see 3,000 pounds of anything coming your way? Get out of the way. But I can't go to painkillers as a result. I dare not. It's like taking a recovered alcoholic and offering him NyQuil. There's alcohol in that. He appreciates the offer, but it's kind of not going to help. So all I can really do is hurt. Tough through it. Because I know what's causing it. It's grief. It's grief. Just plain old grief. I lost my dad. I lost my grandma. It's 2 of the people I grew up with. It's the first year. It hasn't even been half a year. A lot of us in my family are still kind of coping. It hurts. Throw in my cousin. I admit I wasn't as close to my cousin as I was to my dad or my grandma, but I loved my cousin. Lost all 3 of them. It's grief. I'd be worried if I didn't have grief from this. It's not even just that. It goes further. My mother was in the hospital, heart attack. She's okay from what I'm told. At least I'm told it's a heart attack. I'll have to poke my brother for the full description. Might be more involved in that, because I find it hard to believe that a heart attack was only a 1 or 2 day stay, and didn't require surgery if they hospitalize you. I don't know. I'll have to ask him the details. And then someone who I was supporting, who was supporting me before that, RSG Shadow Ninja, apparently died not too long ago. I don't know the details, but that was a shock, and I'm sorry to the communities have lost him, and I know that his brother probably misses him very dearly, and I can feel his pain. I get where that's coming from. I've lost family too. And the long and short of it is, any one of these things would be very painful, and apparently life, fate, God, the spirit of God, whatever is on high, whatever you want to put it, bad luck, it's just seen fit to throw a lot at once. And I really wish I could get the headaches to stop, get the migraines to stop. I wish I could. They hurt so much, guys. They do. On a scale of 1 to 10, where 1 is this hurts, but I can't really, but I can deal, and 10 is I have no mouth and yet I must scream. I've been averaging 8 to 10 for most of them, with 10 being very common. It's only for a minute, but it's only for a minute for these migraines. People mistake them for seizures, but you ram your head into an electric socket for a minute. See how well you deal with that. It's not fun. The gaming, the videos, they're fun, but they need energy. They need time. They need me to not be like this. Now, I'm not giving up. I'm not like throwing in the towel. Just, I'm probably going to go back for a while to a somewhat reduced schedule. Just one video a day with occasional live streams again. And just, I'm off work Wednesday. I was in today and I'm in tomorrow. And I'm off Wednesday. I'm gonna see if I can get some work done so that Thursday we're back to just a one a day schedule. And I'm hoping I can do a live stream on Sunday night. I'll do more and earlier if I can as work permits, but definitely next Sunday. I'm sorry that this has happened. I wasn't expecting... Stay still. I wasn't expecting all this to happen. I knew I was dealing with a lot of crap. But I wasn't expecting this to have such a prolonged, long-term, physically debilitating effect. And I'd just like to end off with one last piece of advice here, because I can tell you one of the big differences before now versus a bit better more recently is that, with the exception of immediately after my dad died, where I met up with a friend, and more recently now, in the past week or two, I dealt with a lot of this on my own. Yeah, sometimes being able to just sit with my brother, my family, because I live with my family. But it's hard to get away from family-related pain by sitting with family. You need to get out of it. You need to get away from it. You need to get some distance. And a lot of my support base, through no fault of their own, in most cases, through no fault of their own, just weren't available. They weren't there. So that advice I can give you here, guys, is this. When someone is reaching out, when someone needs help, when someone is in pain, you gotta remember that man is a social creature. Humans are a social animal. Even if it's just to take their mind off it, just hang out, not even talk about it, just sit around, watch some music, catch up on a show, play a game of cards, people watch, whatever. They need that. We need that. And everyone always assumes that the people they think are strong, and they won't need that. But you can't assume that they have that. You can't assume that the people that you hope are there in their lives are there. You can't assume that. For all you know, you may be the only one reaching back when they reach out. It's better to reach out your hand and be one of many, or the only one, than to not reach out at all because you expect someone else's hand will be there. And it's scary to do that. It's hard to do that. You don't know necessarily that your hand is the only one. If you're the right hand, you don't know if it is. But you're never going to know if you don't reach out. And if you assume someone else has got it, and it's the right people, you end up with a sad YouTuber dealing with migraines. I'll leave things off here. Not my jolliest video by any stretch, and I'm sorry for that, guys. I am. I'm not letting this beat me. I'm not letting this make me stop. I'm not throwing in the towel. I'm not giving up. I'm not surrendering. I'm not succumbing to grief. I'm not succumbing to stress. I'm not ending this. I'm not in danger. I'm not a threat to myself. I'm not a threat to anybody. I'm just tired and in a lot of pain. and I know I will be okay. I've got a few friends responding better now. Guess they kind of had a wake-up call after talking with me. So I've got a little better support now, and that makes a difference. It makes a huge difference. I will be okay. And we will be back. Slightly reduced, back to kind of what I had in January, I guess, but we will be back. A little before January, in fact. But we will be back. So thank you for tuning in. I can't imagine you'd like what you've seen here, but if you like to support, give that like button a boop. And as always, guys, thank you all for watching. You have yourselves a great day. Bye-bye.